registration process for the L2, L3, and L4 studios. Thank you, TLC, for setting this up. Uh, Typically, as you know, we used to have faculty by faculty introductory sessions at the start of the semester. But since this process is online this semester, we are having a common introductory session. So I welcome you all. It's almost 830 people joining in at this time. This includes faculty members, students, TAs, deans, president, provost. All of us are here, and I welcome everyone. This is going to be a brief session. We will start with a welcome note by Dr. Bimal Patel, our president. That will be followed by a few short notes of welcome by each of the deans, starting with Anjali Yagnik, followed by Aanal Shah, followed by anandbelhe, and then Mona Iyer. And finally, we will have a concluding remark by Professor Tridip Surud, our provost. May I request that for the first initial few minutes, if you can start your videos, it will get us to see one another, and it will give us a feeling of being together. Though we are not in the same place, we would have loved to have you all here in the campus, but just seeing you will give us a sense together, and we are starting the semester again. So with that, everyone, I request Dr. Bimal Patel to say the welcome note. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chirayu, and welcome everybody. This is unprecedented in more ways than one. We've never, so many people got together at once at SET, so it's unprecedented from that point of view. It's a 2,000 student university, but we are almost 850 people. I don't think we've ever got together like this. And it is incredible to believe that we are all together in one event. It's also unprecedented because we've never met online. And I am certainly not used to doing this online. I'm very much used to walking into jam-packed rooms where everybody is breathing down each other's throats, which would be fatal these days, and addressing the students and talking to them. It's always such a delight to see at the beginning of the semester people coming together after their holidays and sort of getting ready to go for the next semester. There's always a sort of an energy in that room, and I miss that a bit. But already seeing so many faces on the screen makes me feel better. So welcome everybody, and I hope that all of you are in good health. This is the main topic of concern these days. Everybody, I hope your families, your friends, your people around you are doing well in these incredibly difficult circumstances. I need not repeat that not just us, the whole world is going through an unprecedented crisis. Something like this has not happened. I don't need to labor that point. But what I do want to talk about is, this is an unprecedented crisis, but institutions get tested when there is a crisis. This is really the point at which institutions get tested. And it gives me such immense pleasure that SET has come out so well in tackling with this crisis. Let me just explain. It was just a week after the lockdown that, by and large, with some difficulties, no doubt, we were able to move all the teaching online. Then we finished our semester just a week behind schedule because we had lost 1 week in moving to the next, in moving to online teaching. Everybody was inventing, and I'm sure there were many, many difficulties as we went ahead. There were problems on the student side. The faculty members were struggling to figure out how to how to deal with this unprecedented situation. And all of us were apprehensive. Then, at the end of the semester, the juries happened. And I happened to talk to a few people who had been to the juries, external members. And I was a little bit surprised when they said, you know what, Bimal, actually, it seems like the work is a little better. And I didn't believe the first one or two, three people. But then a lot more people said, no, the work is pretty good. There is no problem. In fact, everybody was talking about how this new way of interacting, juries online, interacting online, is providing, well, there are problems, but it's providing new opportunities and changing the way in which we interact with one another, how we discuss things with one another. The juries, I'm told, were far better organized and more meaningful. And certainly, many of the teachers said that some of the inhibitions that the students might have in talking with the teachers had gone away because this was interaction online. And I was sort of surprised to hear that things were better. Then we have a system of feedback where all the work done by all the students is reviewed by an independent board of reviewers. All the programs have boards of reviews. And these are people who are not connected with SEPT, who come in from outside, look at the work at the end of the semester, and basically prepare a report on each of the studio units. Mind you, this is a very rigorous process, and I know that tutors are on tenterhooks when this review happens. And they also are wondering how the student work has turned out. And I was so thrilled when review board after review board told me in the sessions that the work was good. I was thrilled. They were saying, well, we can hardly make out the effect of the lockdown, and it almost appears that the work is a little better than it was before. I was thrilled to hear it. Now, to myself, I said two things. Perhaps one reason for this is very simple. There were no distractions and everybody was working hard. So there was nothing else you could do, just work on your studio. So obviously the work is going to be better. It just tells you something. That's a major learning. Man, if you work more, you engage more with your work, you do the work more, even when there is no lockdown, you will get better quality. There's no question about it. And the lockdown provided an opportunity for that. But I think it goes a little bit beyond that. Because I think while not everything about doing things online is terrific, and certainly not, you need to make models, you need a workshop, you need to meet with other students at the canteen. There are things that you learn through that whole process, which is impossible online. But online teaching, as the world is discovering, not just us, everybody is discovering across the board, there is something in online interaction that seems to improve student-teacher interactions. So not everything is rosy. But I'm glad to report that the board of review across all the review boards said that the work was better, and it's clearly evident in the book that is published at the end of the semester. We didn't have an exhibition this time. That's very bad. This time, online semester, we'll have an online exhibition, perhaps even have an online rock band doing the opening for the exhibition. But we must. I'm looking forward to great work. We can't do, this online teaching doesn't replace, but there are many aspects of it that are very good, and we are reaping, we are learning. So as an institution, we have not only tackled the crisis well, but we have in some sense learned from it. And almost, we would never have done so much learning had it not been for the crisis. Had it not been for the lockdown, we would never have explored online teaching, online learning, digital platforms of various sort. The whole world is discovering that there is another way of doing things. And I'm certain that in the long run, this is going to hybridize the way in which we teach and the way in which we work. There's no doubt about this in the minds of anybody who's heading institutions. Even architectural offices are working differently. People are traveling less. Just imagine if we can run online studios, then we can tap the tutor talent across the country. We can have teachers from across the country coming in to teach at SEPT. And they could come only for maybe, once every 3 weeks to meet with the students and to look at things, models. Students could be in school, there's no problem, but you could use tutors from abroad. And this is taught us, for example, this. So what I want to, in short, what I want to say is that I'm so thrilled that as an institution, we have not only tackled the crisis well, but we have in many ways turned it into an opportunity. And the credit for this, first and foremost, goes to the students. I mean, it's been difficult for a number of students. Okay, many people have had a difficult time managing from home. For some, it might have been easy, but for many, it has been difficult to manage from home. But everybody has sort of risen to the challenge and has done fantastic. And I'm thrilled to bits for that. And I want to first give the credit to the students. The second, of course, I would give credit to the TAs. I'm told that all the TAs worked extremely well. All the teaching assistants worked well and helped the students work along with, work on this new mode. So that is fantastic. And then, of course, nothing happens without great tutors. And we are so blessed at SET to have some of the best tutors that any architecture school can have worldwide. It's not just India. Now, let me tell you, I know where people are from all over. And we have terrific tutors. They have risen to the challenge. They have met the crisis headlong and have turned it into an opportunity. So that's fantastic. Now imagine none of this could have been possible without the administration chipping in. Okay, 1 week, in 1 week, shifting online, that means that somebody in the IT office was working overtime, somebody in the TLC was working overtime, somebody was working overtime to take everybody and move them forward. And it is thrilling to know that none of this needs any sort of prompt, any sort of a push. Just everybody rises to the challenge and moves ahead. And that, I think, is the biggest certificate that we could have got for SET University. Many universities are floundering, and because they are not in such fine shape as we are. So I'm very thrilled about that. Tremendous work done last semester. I'm very happy about that. Tremendous work by everybody. So thank you, everybody, and for doing what you've done. Next semester is going to be online. And as I said, while there are some things that you cannot do online, we must, as architects, everything in architecture or in design or in planning or in technology cannot be done online. That is for sure. But we need not see this as the end of the world. This is an opportunity to explore the things that we haven't done online, and to find out the possibilities and the potential. We'll never get such an opportunity where out of necessity we have to work online. So I'm looking forward to what happens next semester. All the learnings from last semester have been brought into this semester. The technological learnings certainly, but also the pedagogic learnings have been brought forth. So that is terrific. First of all, well, all the best for the coming semester, and I'm certain that with all the effort that you put in, all of you put in, we are going to see yet another semester of great work being produced. With that, let me stop about the semester and the crisis. I have the great pleasure of introducing to you two new deans. We have three actually, but to introduce two of them. The Faculty of Architecture. First of all, let me thank Professor Surya Kakani, who was the earlier dean. He has done exemplary work in the last 3 years. He requested that he had enough of this and he wanted to move on and do other stuff. And we had a search process, and we are very pleased that we have now Anjali Yagnik from Bangalore as the Dean of Architecture School. She is known to many alums of SEPT, of the Faculty of Architecture, because she herself is an alum from SEPT when it was the School of Architecture, and she got her bachelor's degree, or at that time it was a diploma in architecture, equivalent to a bachelor's from Ahmedabad, from School of Architecture, Ahmedabad. She went off then to the United States. She worked with many architects, got her master's from the University of California, Berkeley, worked in Berkeley for a number of years, and then moved back to India and has been practicing architecture first with her late husband Vijay Yagnik, since 27 years, and she's an exemplary professional, a wonderful person, as you will all discover. So thank you very much, Anjali, for joining us, and welcome to SEPT. And we all, we'll all be very pleased to be working with you. The second person I want to introduce is Aanal Shah. She is Professor Aanal Shah. She is in the Faculty of Technology, now the new dean. Many of you might know her as the program chair for the structural design program in the Faculty of Technology. Professor Paresh Shah, who did exemplary work over the last, I forget now, I'm sorry, it's almost 6 years. He has done tremendous work in Faculty of Technology on bringing it on even keel in some ways after the earlier dean expired, and he did great work there. I'm very glad that we have Aanal Shah. She did her bachelor's in engineering from LD University, her master's from SEPT University, her PhD from SEPT University, and has been an exemplary academic and an academic administrator and an exemplary member of the SEPT team. She's the one who set up, really got the summer-winter school program going for 4 years. She's the one who has been helping push and introduce studio teaching to the Faculty of Technology. She does terrific work. I'm very happy that she agreed to take on this challenge, and so thank you very much for this. We also have Mona here as the new dean for planning, and we have Professor Chirayu Bhatt now, and he is also dean of the Faculty of Management. But for some reason, I have been told I have to introduce only the first two. So Mona and Chirayu, please excuse me for this. There's a couple of 2 or 3 things just of a logistical nature. I think, as we go ahead and the new semester starts online, you will discover that a lot of the things have been altered so that we can do studio unit selection, the interviews, etc. Everything has been thought out. A lot of hard work has gone into figuring out how the units will be different, how the teaching will be different, how all the systems will be run online. This has been a terrific job. Also, a technical support team has been put in place to address all your technical queries in real time. So it's support@sept.ac.in, I think, and you will hear more about that. This has also been put in place. I'm sure, even with all the effort that has been put in by everybody working real hard, there are going to be some problems. Nobody has done this before. So I'd request you to have a little bit of patience and to reach out, first of all, to your TAs, to your tutors, to your program chairs, your deans, gradually up the line, to UGPG office, to Teaching Learning Center, the Student Services office, and eventually registrar, provost, or even myself if you need to. So please, little bit of patience. There will be some teething problems. I'm 100% certain. But on the other end, I've also seen the amount of hard work that people have put in to try and make this work really well, and it has up to now. So I don't imagine there'll be very big problems. At the end, let me just say that, whatever you say, the quality of an institution can only finally be judged by the quality of work that its students produce. Because that work is the evidence of their learning, and for their learning is why we come together. Okay. It's either in the form of a test at the end, or in our case, in the form of the drawings and portfolio that you prepare, that we have the evidence for our success or failure. Which is why we have an exhibition at the end. We put so much importance on that, and we say that, listen, the only thing that matters is what the students are producing. It doesn't matter whether we have terrific teachers. We do have, it helps, but that's not the big thing. Our teachers might be doing exemplary work that gives us a lot of pride and a lot of confidence. But that doesn't make a great institution. We might have a great campus, but like in these times, we might not be able to use it as well. So a campus doesn't make a great institution. The only thing that makes a great institution is it's not even the alums and what the alums are doing, because that tells you something about what CEP was like many years ago. The only thing that matters is the quality of work that its students are producing. And if we want to be a high quality institution, if we want to be proud of ourselves, if we want to have a great sense of self-worth, the only way we can do that is if our students produce great work. Okay. And I have no doubt that in this coming semester, as all of you work hard, because it's not finally the teachers, it's your engagement with what you do. And what you do along with the support of your teachers and your TAs and the administration, I'm certain that the work is going to make us proud once again. And all of us are going to be able to say, we came out on top with work that makes everybody's eyes pop out and say, listen, this is excellence. That ultimately is the only thing that matters. You have to produce excellent work. And I'm sure you will do it. So all the best to everybody. We are all here to support you in whatever way you want. Thank you very much for bearing with all the difficulties. Thank you for all the hard work that everybody is putting in. I'm absolutely thrilled at the way CEP is, and I'm sure all of us must feel proud at the way in which CEP is tackling this unprecedented crisis that the world is facing. We're doing well, and we'll do much, much, much better this coming semester. So congratulations, everybody, and look forward to a fantastic new semester and tremendous work at the end of the semester. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chirayu. Thank you, Tridip. And I thank all of you for listening to me. Goodbye.
Thank you, Bimal Bhai. May I request Anjali Yagnik to share her thoughts?
I better do my video. Okay. So, good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you. Congratulations are also in order to the new students for having been admitted to the Faculty of Architecture at CEPT University. The first thing is, I hope your process of registration and selection of courses goes smoothly. As the president of CEPT University, Dr. Bimal Patel, has already mentioned, this is the very first time that the entire process of registration and course selection is being conducted online. The Teaching and Learning Center at CEPT, or TLC as it's commonly known, has been working very hard to facilitate this and to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. So the 5 years that undergraduate students spend here at CEPT, or 2 years as in the case of postgraduate students in the master's programs, have the potential to be very inspiring and significant as it was for me when I studied here in the mid-70s. CEPT has a long history of high-quality design education since its inception as the School of Architecture in 1962. Since it was set up as an autonomous institution, as it is today, it was not governed by regulations for departments of architecture in other technical institutions. And so it was relatively free to chart its own course. I was a student here from 1974 to 1980, when it was a 6-year program, and know from my own personal experience how much this intense and multifaceted education has helped me through my professional and academic career over the past 40 years. Of course, and this was something that the President also stated, a large part of how valuable your experiences will be during the time that you spend here as students will depend equally on the interest, enthusiasm, and the hard work that you bring to your academic pursuit. To those of you who are not already in the habit of asking too many questions, I would encourage you to open yourselves to what is a long-standing and less hierarchical method of teaching design in a studio format through a process of questions, discussions with your teachers, with your peers, with your seniors, and discovery of answers or solutions after exploring many such possibilities. You also have before you a dedicated group of educators and tutors. Another well-known and critical aspect of teaching at CEPT has been that a large part of this is conducted and continues to be conducted by well-informed practitioners with a deep interest in academics. So I will keep this short, and my advice to you would be to make the best of the opportunities that your program, the university, and this campus will offer you over the next few years of your undergraduate or postgraduate studies. So it's really up to you, in a sense. You know, the system is there, the structure is there, the support is there, and it's how you use it. So you need to think about that. So all the best to all of you, and I wish you well and stay safe in this time of COVID. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Anjali. May I request Aanal Shah to share her thoughts?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Bimal Bhai, for such a nice introduction. A virtual warm welcome to all of you for the academic year 2021. I hope everything is fine at your end and you are as equally excited to join the university or upcoming semester as we are. Today, the world is facing the biggest challenge, COVID-19, a pandemic we never thought of before few months. If the physical presence on campus was allowed, for us, it would have been the best time to seeing you all mingling and chattering and thereby changing the vibrancy of the whole campus. While we miss that, we are also concerned about upholding your trust by imparting the tutelage through online mode during Monsoon 2020. I understand, and I'm sure this feeling of anxiety is being mutual. At Faculty of Technology, we have a planned total 7 studios L2 studios. And these studios are offered touching the topics of infrastructure, that is road network and plumbing, designing spaces with materials such as reinforced concrete, steel, masonry, and bamboo. And we are also working with deployable structural systems. The exercises have been carefully planned to minimize and avoid the use of workshop or laboratory and field visits. Except academia has one of the highest agenda for striving excellence. We assure you that each and every studio tutor has really worked hard and put in a lot of efforts to develop a teaching material that is to be conducted online. Of course, it is a collaborative work, and in this unfortunate situation, nothing is possible without your dynamic support. Lastly, I think there has always been a difference between a history reader and a history maker. At this point, I just want to quote one sentence given by President Kennedy, in one of the graduating speech of the universities, wherein he said, this year, this decade, we are planning to do other works and planning to go on moon. So not because it is easy, but because it is hard. In this, I see a profound message wherein get inspired doing the things which are really hard. Get inspired, I think, doing the things which nobody has done before. Lastly, I think let us create a history as a SEPT community working to enhance the global quality of life by solving problems as master architects, planners, builders, innovators, and engineers. Of course, going online. Once again, I welcome you all for the new academic year 2020-2021. Till you enter into the actual campus, put your mark, virtual campus, and let your presence be felt. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you, Aanal. May I request anandbelhe to share a few words?
Hi, good morning, everybody. It's very difficult to talk after Bimal has talked, but I will try to introduce my various colleagues in studios this time. So let me start my address by welcoming the foundation students to their home. I am sure they are all eagerly waiting to come to FD. I welcome all the master students in MBPS, furniture design and interior design disciplines, and hope you have exciting and successful 2 years at SEPT. I will now move on to the list of studios we are offering this time, but let me first not forget to thank the TLC for their tremendous efforts and support. Thank you, Anjali and team. Special thanks to all my coordinators and tutors and their TAs for their continued support to make these studio units a success. And last but not least, many thanks to my admin staff of KD, Chandraben and Umaben. Thank you, Bimal, Trideep, Chirayu and Anita Ben for your unconditional support. Let me start with the L2 studios. This time, we have got 3 L2 studios in the BDES program and 13 L2 studios in the BID program. I am very proud to say that very senior NID faculty with more than 30 years of experience have supported me to join the BDES and the MDES teaching. We have 4 such iconic professors this time. Let me start with the BDES. We have Professor Sadasivan teaching expeditions in metal. He has more than 20 years of experience with the German tool room at NID for more than a decade. Then we have Professor Gaurang Shah, who is going to teach with Amal Shah elements of form and space. He has more than 30 years of experience teaching at NID and MIT. He also started the automobile design program at MIT. Then we have our own Rudrapal Singh Solanki, who's ex-SEPT SID, and he has completed his computational design 2 years back from Barcelona. Rudrapal is going to teach expeditions in computational design. I move on to BID. Our Parikh, Vasav Bhatt, Vishal Joshi, Vishal Wadhwani and Niyati Patel, Hamid Raj, Jay Thakkar, Shweta Jain, Shikha Parmar, Jinal Shah and Jagrut Rawal. They are all going to continue teaching like the earlier semesters. I am very happy to inform you that we have 4 more new studios, Priya Narayanan and Ananya Parikh. Priya is coming back from foundation program, who is also ex-Septian. Then we have the young Shreya Nanavati and Abhishek Jani. Shreya is also taught in foundation program for 3 years and she's coming back. We have Krishna Nagrecha and we have Nitisha Kamdar and Pratyusha Suryakant. I move on to the L3 studios. In the L3, we have totally 8 studios this time because the industrial training has been cancelled. We have the earlier ones of Ruchi Mehta, Kirit Patel, Dexter Pereira, Ayaz Khan Pathan, and we have 4 new studios, Anand Patel, Mihir Bakshi and Isha Talsania, Prashant Pradhan all the way from Sikkim, Bharat Panchal and Shailesh Manke and Moksh Thapar who are from the first batch of SID. Let me move on to the master's program. In master's program, we have for the MBPS, Sagar Moth, Anuj Anjaria, and we have the master tutor, Samir Bhatt. Samir has been teaching for more than 30 years at NID. Then we have Rushan Vyas, Sagar Moth, and Vinay Kumar. A special mention for Vinay because Vinay has been very kind enough to join us this time. He was heading industrial design at NID for the longest period of time, and then he was the director of SPA Delhi for the master's program in industrial design. He has also worked in the US and the industry more than 35 years. For furniture design, we have Kavlav, our coordinator, then Nehal Bhatt, who brings in vast experience from her manufacturing side, and I am going to also join them as a master. Then we have Dr. Rebecca Rubins, who is very strong in her sustainability and art in furniture design. She's taking a studio in that. Then myself and Kavlav, we are taking the outdoor spaces studio. And then last but not least, the interior design program. We have Chirag Doshi, who brings in practical experience from his long practice in interior design. Then we have Millie and Claire Reuter. Millie also has enormous experience from the field of interior design. And Claire, who's a furniture and interior designer, she's done a master's from SET, is tremendously popular with the students. Then we have the digital processing design by Abbas and Kuber Patel. Both of them are experts in computational design and have done their masters abroad. They will be teaching computational design and parametric thinking with an algorithmic design process approach. Last but not the least, and the best, I would say, I leave it for Kirit Patel, who's our anchor. Kirit is teaching the studio as a master with Rishabh and Aparajita. Kirit is probably the most popular FD tutor ever, and he is very happy to come back to FD full time after hand-holding the foundation program for 3 years. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anand. May I request Mona Iyer to share her thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Chirayu. Thanks for setting up this platform, actually. It's so heartening to see about 921 people gathered at one place. And this is something that is best possible in current situation. You know, we can flip through the 37 pages and see some familiar faces and feel good about it. I was just imagining that if this was happening at SEPT campus, the sprawl would start from the basement right up to the Garba ground and right up to the lawns and where not. And so I'm just trying to imagine that as well while I'm trying to see the 37 pages here. So that's a great achievement. And when I reflect about the times that we have spent in last 2 months or more than 2 months now in the lockdown, this is truly resilience demonstrated. You know, we always kept learning in university about what is resilience, how to be resilient, etc. But this is something that we all have lived. And SEPT as a system, SEPT as a university, really stood up, and we all migrated to the online platform with just 1 week lag, and that is so heartening. And here, while the entire system was gearing up, and thanks to TLC to put things together, thanks to our admin staff who worked throughout day and night to ensure that students' queries were taken care of. Faculty members were putting together new pedagogy, new ways of bringing site experience into their studio, and all the tutors have spent their summers spending time on thinking how to bring City onto the computer screen. And at the same time, what is very heartening to see is that the students were doing their own bit to ensure that their social life was active. And you know, some of our students at Urban Design, they started this online talk series for the student to student interaction called Urban Powwows, and which is essentially conversation with the senior students to help the incoming students get oriented to the student life. And that was very heartening. So each one of us were doing our own bit, and that's what makes us a unique place. Besides this, they also started something, an editorial called the Black Table, where they are putting together the work that they have done during this lockdown. It could be sketches, it could be poems, it could be short write-ups. So lot of activities happening, and it's very heartening to see that. And I really wish that the students continue with the same zeal and spirit till we all come back to the campus physically. And coming to the L2 and the L3 studios, this is a very special year for the BUD program, because this is the 5th year of the program and the final year for our very first batch. This is also the first semester that we have entire program at full strength, that is all the 4 years, 2nd to 5th in the studio together. So very special semester for us. About 150 students, and we have 11 studios supported by very able 11 TAs and ably guided by 16 faculty members. We have about 6 L2 studios and 5 L3 studios, and the themes, the scales are varied. They span from an urban insert to a zonal level initiative in the urban public and private realm. It also spans in terms of its scope from design and right up to the policy or regulations. And there are more fundamental subjects covered through some of the studios, whereas some of the studios are exploring newer ideas. The studio recordings, the presentations are already up there, and you're also going to have presentations on the studio by the studio tutors. So I'm not getting into the details of those, but very exciting bunch of studios there. And I really wish that we continue this energy which SEPT infuses in us. And I would like to close by saying that, you know, at SEPT, energy that we get at SEPT is contagious. And the second thing is that it only keeps growing. So I wish that it continues even in an online mode, and all the best to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mona. May I request Professor Tridip Surud to share his concluding remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Chirayu. Welcome, everyone. Last evening, Bimal and I were seated facing the South Lawns and the South Gate. And neither of us mentioned it, but both of us were aware that we had the campus to ourselves, more or less. And it's not a good feeling. Chirayu and I and some of our colleagues have been on campus for 6 weeks now. We miss you. And I'm saying genuinely, we miss having you on campus. We miss you know, having our colleagues on campus, all of you on campus. We hope for better times, and we will have you back on campus very soon. Bimal spoke, and my colleagues spoke of how wonderful that transition has been, how fruitful it has been. Let me assure you of two other things. Quality of institutions and the quality of human beings is also visible in performance of other kinds of things that we do, which is beyond our duty, something that we care. And during the hardest part of the lockdown, where it was impossible for anybody in Ahmedabad to step out without police permissions, Anita ma'am and Chirayu made sure of two things, and I'm taking names because they made sure of two things, and that's really warmed my heart. They made sure that everybody who was on campus, and they were let's say the guards on campus, were provided with rations, with food, and they were cared for. They would go out, check on them, and make sure. Chirayu and a few others also made sure that all the dogs were cared for. And I know how important it is for this community to care for all forms of life on campus. So I want to assure you that all forms of life are being cared for on campus. And nothing is going to be neglected. The trees are being watered, the dogs are being fed, and the birds are there. What we miss is having you. We hope the situation changes and that we can have you on campus very soon. As I said last time, it's a great opportunity for students to be able to choose how they learn, the modes within which they learn, the tutors with whom to learn, cohorts with whom they pair up and learn. It's a privilege that's not available to everyone. It's not a privilege that every institution provides. It's not a privilege that every university provides. And we are very lucky that choosing one's own path of how to acquire the knowledge, the skills, is something which is integral to the way SEPT imagines education. It has always been so. It rests on one assumption. It rests only on one assumption, that the students as autonomous human beings, as students, judge wisely. That without being handheld, without being guided, without being told what to do, the students do it. They chart their own course through that. So again, I will repeat myself as I've said, choose well, choose wisely, and that's really what is going to this process is that process. The only other thing that I hope to say, I wish to say is a lot of work has gone in the last 3 months. We've processed all that we've learned from the first period where we did part online teaching. And a lot of that learning and reflection has gone into making of the studios and the pedagogy going ahead. The institution has acquired technological abilities, it's acquiring hardware, it's acquiring various kinds of paraphernalia which go into making a process like this successful. So in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of preparedness, we are all there. All that we want is the same level of commitment, the same level of attention and enthusiasm that the students brought during the last part of the semester that we just ended. If you're there in that process, I'm sure your tutors and the TAs together would make that an exciting process of learning. So welcome, but we hope to have you back on campus before too long, but not by endangering either yourselves or by endangering your colleagues. So till the situation changes and that we are able to have you back, this is the form in which we will congregate. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and look after the people that you care for. Thank you.
Thank you, Tridip sir. And with that, we come to the end of this introductory session today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we hope that you are able to successfully complete the studio registration process, which is going to go on over the next few days, and that you will start your studios starting next week on Monday. If you have any difficulty, please feel free to reach out to any of us who you feel can be of help. Help is available, and just let us know. So thank you once again, and we look forward to further interactions through the semester and seeing the great work at the end with the exhibition. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.